All right, guys, so today is our 1 year, I won't say anniversary, 1 year since we posted our first video. And our first video was an introduction to Termite. If you have been following for the whole year, then you have watched the progress, or if you've went back and watched, you've seen all of this stuff. But we've got a lot of new followers, and we've been getting a lot of questions asking us about certain things on Termite that were done probably almost a year ago in video, and people just haven't gone back and watched. And so we just thought for our 1 year video, we would just reintroduce Termite and kind of go back over some of the things we've done this past year and some of the plans that we have coming up. So to begin with, just the basics, the things that we get asked the most. Termite is running a BJ's off-road 4-inch lift, springs front and back. There's no lift blocks or nothing like that. So 4-inch lift, 32 by 11.5 BFG good wrench on obviously factory tires. So that's the question we get asked the most. What lift and tire are we running? So that's what we're running there.
I can answer that one.
Yeah, Andrew can answer it by now. We pretty much just have it copy and pasted to reply to that question. But some people have asked, how do we like this lift? I mean, I don't really have anything to compare it to. I've never ridden in another FSJ with any other kind of lift to be able to say one way or the other. Right now it's running rough country shocks, and they're fairly decent shocks, but one of my goals for the coming up year is to swap them over to Bilstein, Bilstein, however you say it. I don't know how you say it, but anyway, I run those on my truck, and I really like the difference that it made on my truck. So probably, maybe at some point this year, we're gonna swap the shocks out to Bilsteins, whatever they are, and that may help it ride a little bit better. One of the things that we done prior to our YouTube channel was we swapped Termite over to the Howell fuel injection kit. Now I bought this kit used, got a really good deal on it used from a guy, and the install was really easy, pretty straightforward. It's not no powerhouse, horsepower thing or nothing like that, but it is efficient, it works well, we haven't had any trouble out of it. The biggest challenge to all of it is just running fuel lines front to back and getting all your wiring run, but it was a really simple install. Previous owner installed the MSD electronic ignition. Other than that, we did swap the muffler over to the Dynamax Super Turbo, Super Flow muffler. Other than that, it's pretty much factory. Factory clutch fan, shroud, radiator. Over this past year, we got the AC all upgraded and converted to R134A. Everything is still working there, working great. It will
freeze your knees.
It will freeze your knees to death. I'm trying to remember back. I think one of the first things that we ever did at Termite on our channel was we built this roof rack to be able to hold our rooftop tent. Rack's done great over this year. The Steelite paint has held up great. For Termite to be able to hold the tent, like I said, we've camped I don't know how many times over this year, and all is well.
Okay.
We also installed the Harbor Freight spotlights, and they still are working great. One of the things that I like is that there's no moisture in there. Usually that was one of my big things. You can buy inexpensive LEDs and the bulb will work, but they're not always sealed the best, and you eventually start getting moisture in there. But those have been on there for, I think we put them on in January or February.
The lights are,
and they still work fine, still sealed off good. And the next big custom thing we did is we built a tire carrier. Me and Dan built this. You can go back in our videos and watch the whole process, but all seems to be fairly well there. There are some reinforcement stuff that I think I may want to do. I don't know, there's no real reason for it. It's all doing good. We added this on, you probably saw a couple of months ago, we added the jerry can holder. So it's all still doing good. Everything's filthy and dirty. So then, you saw over the summer we built the winch mount. We did this right before we went to Arkansas. Thankful that we did, because the winch did come in handy. It got us out of a big hole in the Ozarks. We built the winch mount, and that's all working good. That's all I really have to say about that.
One of my favorite projects was cleaning up the seats that we had. The seats that we did have in it were horrible. They were ripped up completely. All of this was just in pieces. And so we bought the cat skin replacement seat covers for the inside. They have held up since we put them on. They are super comfortable. They're real tight. The seats, they're doing great. I mean, we haven't had any trouble out of any of them. Nothing's come off. They've withstood a 14-hour drive with 2 kids in the back, so we give them 5 stars all around. They're way, like I said, they're way more comfortable, and they look really, really good. It made a huge aesthetic difference for sure, changing the seat covers. And the only other, we did build this. It's where we keep our table. This stuff stays in here all the time. It's done really, really well, and I think we're both pretty happy with it. The only, I'd say probably the only negative is that it limits you to what it has to fit underneath it. Mm-hmm. And so there's, like, we have a big cooler that doesn't work because it's too tall. We have to be kind of particular about the things that we pack and the way that we pack. Overall, it makes it look a lot better when you close the door, because you don't see all of this.
Yeah.
All this crap in the floor. So, but.
And the messiest job that we did this year was we did a gear swap. We went from 273s to 354s. We did limited slip, a Yukon limited slip in the back. The front's still open. But man, that's been a big game changer for Termite as far as highway, even off-road. Just made a world of difference. And after we got done doing all of that on the floor, we got a lift. So, so you buy the lift after you do all the gear stuff. That's what makes sense.
But you earn it. Don't I get like a special badge for that?
Yeah.
For doing
like
that?
You get trail badges. You get change gears on the floor badges.
Changed.
But, yeah, that was a big improvement on Termite. We've had, I don't know, we've probably put close to 3,000 miles on it. Maybe 4,000 since then, and everything's been fine there. Probably
our most expensive upgrade was this little ditty here, the tent, and I say it's worth it.
Yeah,
I think it's worth it. If you're on the fence, if you've got the money for it and you're trying to decide, I would say it's worth it, because I can't sleep on the ground anymore. I'm at that age. So having a mattress and being up off the floor is a lot better than sleeping on the ground.
So future fabrication plans for this coming up year, we've got our winch, we've got our rat, we've got our tire carrier. The only thing that we're missing is some kind of protection down here. So rock sliders are something that are sooner than later are going to be going on Termite. So again, here within the next few months, that's going to be some of the videos coming up, is us building some rock sliders for old Termite. The rocker panels are the only rust that is left on Termite. There's no other rust left. We've been able to fix everything else. So they're not really good anyway. So we're going to try to do something, either fix the rockers and then build some sliders, or I would like to incorporate where the rocker is, turn that into a slider, because I've seen people do that and that looks really clean to me. So we'll see when we get there. We'll get that figured out. So we are going to be swapping the brakes over to a hydro boost setup. So here probably within the next couple of months, maybe, we're going to be doing the hydro boost conversion on old Termite. The brakes are working fine, but everything I've looked at, people who have done the hydro boost conversion said it's just night and day. They're just so much better. And we're planning on going to Colorado next summer, and I want as good of brakes as I can possibly have in Colorado. But one of our future plans is to build barn door setup on Termite. I've seen it done. The military versions came with them, but those are few and far between. But basically at that point, our doors will open barn door, and we'll be able to get better access in. And when we do that, the tire carrier is probably going to be split into a dual carrier at that point. But for right now, everything works as it should, and it serves its purpose. So, one of the biggest things that is in the future is, right now Termite is running its original AMC 360, 3-speed, torque flight 727 transmission. We're not having any issues right now, other than the fact that there's like no power. Like, you know, on trails is fine, but you know, like when we go to Arkansas or, you know, Colorado coming up this year, long interstate travel trips is kind of dreaded, just because keeping up with traffic is not even an option. Like, it's just not even an option in this. So most everybody does LS swaps on these. I'm a Mopar guy. I'll sell it before I do an LS swap. I'm just gonna be flat honest with you. I'm never gonna put an LS in this thing, but it is potentially gonna get a Hemi. So we are right now looking at kind of starting to begin to collect parts for doing a Hemi swap into Termite. So it'll be the engine. I'm not settled on a specific transmission just yet, but it will be the full 9, to where we will have the dependability, the power to be able to run, keep up with traffic on the highway, do all of those things. You know, so it's just kind of one of those things that I know some people argue about it. Some people, I'm an original OEM guy. My Super B's all completely original. I love original stuff. But to me, it boils down to, what are you doing with that vehicle? And Termite's not a show vehicle. It's not I wouldn't even call it a restoration. It's a family camping vehicle. That's what it is. It's meant for trips. It's meant to do trails. It's meant to get out and work. And so to me, the Hemi is going to help it be able to do that, help us be able to go further, a little more efficiently, a little more dependable, and be able to do even more stuff with this thing. So I would love to do the 392, but it's probably just going to have to be the regular old 5.7, unless we just come across a killer deal on a 392.
If somebody wants to give us one.
Yeah, somebody wants to just give us one.
I just want to give us one. We'll put it in.
I'll put it in.
We'll do it.
Plug your name every
time.
video.
This is so we will.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, don't know if that's going to be this year, but it is something we're looking at with Termite, is doing a good old Hemi swap in it. So. So we got this trailer from my dad. It was a motorcycle trailer that he converted to a boat trailer that we're going to convert to a camping trailer. So this will be something that's probably done before all the other stuff that we're talked about. This is the next thing on the docket, is to get the camp trailer set up. As you've heard, look with the interior, there's just not a lot of room for any kind of storage, and we're a family of 4. So the back hatches is limited. We're just limited. Plus, we want to have more options, because one of the things that we want to be able to do is, like, say the Ozarks, for example, or Colorado this coming summer. We want to be able to park, have kind of a base camp, if you will, if you want to call it that, a place to be able to leave the tent, leave the campsite, and be able to go ride without having to pack up every single day. So in trips where we're trying to cover a lot of ground and camp along the way, the tent can be on top, be fine. But on trips like when we go to Colorado this coming summer, we're going to want to be able to leave it and just be able to get out and go ride and do some mountain passes and do stuff like that without having to pack up every single morning the way that we do now. So this was something that was kind of there and readily available to us. But it's the next thing, like I said, on the docket that we're finna finna get into. So you're gonna get to see us at least attempt to build a camp trailer.
I feel like this is gonna be expensive. Is it gonna be expensive? I feel like it might be.
We're gonna see.
We're gonna find out.
We're gonna find out.
Do y'all care to know how much it costs? Like, do y'all want us to keep tabs? I can't.
Y'all know us. If you follow the channel, you know we do things right. We don't just jerry rig stuff and leave it hanging. We do it right, but we also do it on a budget.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have massive amounts of incomes to draw out of to go spend $20,000 on a,
We sold our previous camper for like $5,000, and that's what we used that to fund everything that you see there.
build wise.
If that helps to know like how much we've got. I know we've got, but that's including tent, all the metal for all of the different, for all the things we built, the seats, gears. That was everything. So I mean, we kept it under 5,000.
Yeah.
Which is not bad, I don't think.
No. Now, if you're paying somebody to do it,
Right.
it's gonna cost you a lot more. But we did everything ourselves,
Right.
and so this is gonna be the next installment of that.
The next big thing. I'm excited about it.
All right, so Andrew went inside to check on dinner, and I know she's gonna see this when she edits the video. Maybe she'll leave it in there. But what I would love to do is termites. We're not gonna cut it up. We're not gonna get crazy with it. I am gonna be doing some suspension stuff here pretty soon to try to get a little more flex out of the suspension. But this thing is not gonna get crazy as far as off-road capability and all this kind of stuff like that. It pretty much is what it's gonna be. Because it still is a daily driver. Andrew still drives it. I drive it. It still needs to be able to be practical and stuff like that. Plus, we don't want to just beat the ever-living snot out of it in Moab or something like that. But I do want to beat the ever-living snot out of something in Moab. So I've been looking a lot lately for Jeep Comanche. I would love to have an MJ that I could build into a good little off-road rock crawler, or keeping it in the family of Termite and finding a good, J10 or J20 truck to build, put the flatbed on it and do a full build there. I would love to find a truck that I can fully build, be a part of the channel, to be able to do more serious off-road stuff that we don't have to worry about as much as we do trying to keep old Termite here together. So I keep trying to hint around to her, like, hey, I found this. And she's just like, oh, yeah, that's nice. So root for me, guys. Let us know in the comments, if you would love to see a build like that. And I would love to do a full build to go things that I've never even had the ability to do, to really build a full linked up setup, and it'd be really cool. So that's my plans for the future.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. Not talking about nothing. Nonetheless, we are so thankful for this past year, and I don't know, we're 900 and something followers at the moment. Thank you for all you guys, man, who have followed along, commented. Some of you we've even got to meet in person. That's been really cool. We're hoping to hit 1,000 by the end of the year. I don't know. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it doesn't matter. We do this for fun, and we just enjoy it. But yeah, we're really looking forward to this upcoming year. We got the Colorado trip. We've got a couple more Arkansas trips planned, and not to mention some fun stuff to do around here. So again, thank you guys for following along. We'll see you next week.
I think if the hooky thing, the hooky deal.
It's not a hooky deal.
What is it called? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this part.
The hitch.
If that was a, you want to wear that shirt?
Why not?
They kind of know what you do for a living.
I ain't got daddy's money to spend like a lot of guys do.
We
we have to work for what we have.
Okay. I know that. The bugs on it.
Got a little rust here and there on it.
Does it?
Don't get them welds too close. Still. Well, that looks like
It looks like we go camping. That's what it looks like.
All right, you gonna do the same?
The only other thing we did on the inside was we built this shelf.
Look at all that organization.
It was better. It was better before we actually use this thing. We go places and we do things, and then it turns into this in the middle of trips. Before we go places, we fix it, but YouTuber stuff. But so
my dad gave us a great deal on it. The kids are shooting basketball and have absolutely no care for what we're doing. So
don't let me get in your way. I parroted you just then, and I caught it. I caught it while I was doing it, and so I wanted to recreate that moment without me being like. Bah, 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 bah.
So.
Gotcha.
First thing is going to be to get a ball that actually fits the trailer.
That would be helpful.
All I have is 2-inch balls. This is
Just stop.
I'm saying, yeah,
Just stop.